feel you spitting on me, right?
Yeah, please don't give me any more COVID.
How much snow did it have?
Started at about 18th Street, but I got
And is it just like a dusting?
yeah, you can see the, it looked like
This year, we got to use the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting held January 25th and February 3rd, 2021?
So moved. Second.
A motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The minutes are approved. I don't believe we had anyone wishing to address the board on agenda or non-agenda. I'll move on to approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The agenda is approved. Now to the good news report.
Good evening, board members. Tonight, I get to deliver the good news report, and so it is with great pleasure that we celebrate what is officially going to happen next week, which is South Dakota School Board Recognition Week. So tonight, we actually get to celebrate all of you. Your work and leadership on behalf of the 24,000 students and 3,400 staff includes countless hours of meetings, research, and presentations. As school board members, you serve as a parent and community representative who sets the vision and goals for the district, striving with each action to provide a quality education for all students. You adopt policies and evaluate progress while always keeping the best interest of our students in mind. In the past year, you did some incredible heavy lifting, listening to stakeholders and drawing school boundaries fairly. You boldly supported students, staff, and families as we left school in March of last year due to a pandemic. And you championed our reopening and continued in-class instruction every day since returning last August. Our students, staff, and community are lucky to have you as leaders. Your commitment to ensuring that all children are offered a high-quality public education is sincerely appreciated. And you are what makes public schools the best choice for our children. And we didn't put in there that you chose a new superintendent, so personal thank you to all of you for that process as well. I don't know that people really understand the amount of time and commitment that it takes, and nobody in public service this year signed up for what it took to navigate through a pandemic. And so we are truly grateful for your support. So I'm going to ask each of you to come up individually tonight to receive a certificate, because it is very important for us to recognize you as people as well as a body. And so as a body, the recognition will be hung in honor of all of you, but I want to give each of you your certificate. So we will start out with Nan Baker. And Carly Ryder. Kate Parker. Todd Tulke. And Cynthia Mickelson. Thank you to all of you, and thank you for everything that you do for our district.
I just would love to tag on to that. This board, you guys have just been amazing. So thank you for everything you have done. This has been an interesting year for us all, and I wouldn't want to do this with anyone else. So thank you very, very much for all the hard work you have done and in getting this to where we are today. So thank you very much. On to conflicts of interest. I did not see any new ones, so we'll go on. Approval to the consent agenda, items 9A through E. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those are approved. On to the supplemental consent agenda, items 10A, claims to Avera Heart Hospital. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That passes with one abstention from Board Member Parker. On to reports of the superintendent. Junior kindergarten 2021 update.
Yes, and so we are going to invite Linda McDaniel to come up and present that report, followed by some recommendations for calendar revisions with Dr. Nold, and then a legislative update with Mr. Veek. So Linda, we'll let you start us off. And I believe this is a momentous occasion. This is Linda's first official board report. So congratulations. We are looking forward to your report.
We won't be too hard on you.
Oh, well, thank you. I've had lots of support and encouragement today as we get ready for this. There we go. So again, good evening. I'm Linda McDaniel, the Elementary Curriculum Coordinator, new to this position this year. The purpose of my report this evening is to update you on our junior kindergarten pilot project. Our junior kindergarten aligns with our district priority area 1, student outcomes, and we work to reduce the achievement gap and provide readiness skills for our earliest learners. During the fall of 2019, Junior K was implemented at 2 elementary schools, Susan B. Anthony and Harvey Dunn, with the additional site, JFK, being added during the fall of 2020 for any student who is school age, so 5 by September 1st. Our junior kindergarten has 2 models to provide support and flexibility to families, an academic-based model, and then of course the academic-based model with the enrichment piece with Junior Kids, Inc. Harvey Dunn has a half-day academic site, and SBA and JFK have the full-day programming option. The junior kindergarten curriculum aligns with our K-5 curriculum. The focus is immersing learners in rich oral language and literacy and numeracy skills. The students spend the majority of their day exploring learning through creative play, small and large motor activities, and handwriting. In addition, students are provided skills to strengthen their ability to express and manage their emotions in a safe and supportive learning environment. Junior kindergarten is connected to the K-5 curriculum to create that smooth transition from junior K to kindergarten, both socially and academically. When looking at our enrollment numbers from 1920 to 2021, you will see a decrease, and we believe that's due to COVID-19, the pandemic that has impacted numbers in every way across our district. We anticipate that we will see enrollment increase this year, as we anticipate that we have lots of kiddos out there who didn't come to kindergarten who will join us either in a junior K environment or a kindergarten environment this fall. Currently, registration is open, and we have really spent the last week looking at streamlining the process for junior kindergarten as that pilot project. A lot of that was pushed out to the building level, and now we are bringing that kind of back to a central location so that parents have one point of contact, which will be curriculum services here at IPC with Heidi Cruz and myself. In addition, we've been working with ITS so that our website kind of provides efficiency for parents to navigate and some effectiveness for the district to gather that information. So in summary, we'll continue to support the readiness of our earliest learners here in the district through literacy skills, language and numeracy skills. We'll continue to explore the 2 different models, academics and academics with enrichment. And we will review the building capacity based on enrollment numbers that come in for 21-22. Questions, comments?
Thank you, and thank you for your first report. This is one area I just think there's so much potential for our district in junior kindergarten, especially with what's happened with the COVID gap with services to our youngest students. I'm wondering, do we communicate with our early childhood programs within our other buildings, as well as maybe to birth the 3 programs to see if there's any children who best qualify to maybe take that junior kindergarten year instead of kindergarten prior to entering kindergarten at our district?
Based on my experience, just recently, I've done a lot of work with our early childhood director, Elizabeth J. Hangari, and again, in an effort to kind of streamline and make sure that we have programming that supports all of our kiddos along the way.
But I just think that's a great potential, and I know that it's hard to find space. That's where we're always looking for more space for this program and so forth, but I would love to see, since we started this, see this implemented as well at some of our title buildings, because I just think that we're missing an opportunity and we're not providing this type of programming as well for our children in those buildings. So I know you're new here, and I'm not, and so is Dr. Stapen, but that is something I know I've requested in the past, and I would love to see if that could be explored going forward. I know numbers this year, more than most, are very much up in the air, but it'd be great to see if we could explore that at some of our buildings.
And I appreciate that. I don't think there's anybody here that would think that we shouldn't do all that we can to support those early learners and make sure that we set them off on the right foot as they journey through our K-12 programs.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
I know when we were looking at virtual learning, we did some sort of meeting where we had parents who currently had students in virtual learning who gave their perspectives on how they thought it was going, maybe to recruit or retain people to that program. And I'm wondering if that would be something that would be beneficial for junior kindergarten. If we have some parents that would be willing to share kind of their testimony of their experiences with junior kindergarten to help people understand what it is that they're getting and why it's such a benefit to their child versus sending them to kindergarten, if there maybe would really be helpful for them to have a little bit of extra time. So just something to think about. And I don't remember who all was part of that process, but if it went well, I think that that might be a decent model that we could try to do some advertising and get people, come learn more, come hear from families. Because I know personally there's several families that I know who are in it, and I've heard nothing but amazing thing. I mean, how much they've noticed their growth in their kids and how much their kids enjoy it. And so I feel like if you could get people who have experienced that to really share their experience, that that might be what other people need to hear. Since it is a newer program, sometimes people are, they want to be the first, the early adapters to that. So, but if they knew and could hear from families, I think that might make a difference. So just
Great
another way
suggestion.
for, to get those numbers, which I think will naturally go up on their own, but might reach some of those people that we otherwise wouldn't have.
Certainly, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Linda? Well, thank you very much. Seeing none, do I have a motion to acknowledge the 2021 update on junior kindergarten?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Good evening. I bring forward to you tonight the school calendar recommendation for the 21-22 school year calendar revisions. This part of it is presented to you by the calendar committee. We did go through and discuss these changes for the 21-22 school year and bring those forward to you tonight for your consideration and approval. This is under priority area number 4, where we seek out the input from our community and our community engagement. And specifically, the strategic initiative, gather feedback from our stakeholders. And you'll see that as we come to one of the slides coming up here, the number of individuals that we have represented on our calendar committee that provide us feedback from various areas of our staff and our community. There are 3 recommended changes to the 21-22 school year calendar that the calendar committee has unanimously approved to bring forward to your for your consideration. And those 3 things are, the first one is brought about by an MOU that was established with the SFEA. And the segment of the MOU that impacts the calendar was agreed upon for 2 days. It would be utilized next year for professional development at the start of the 21-22 school year. Those dates that will be added are August 17th and 18th. That's right after the new staff starts and right before the veteran staff is to report. So those 2 dates are August 17th and 18th, and that's brought about by the agreement that we had, or the MOU with our SFEA agreement. The next change in there is the middle school generally will set aside 3 different times or time slots. And over the last couple of years, they've agreed to narrow that down to just 2 that they would utilize. So it's just to clean up on the calendar and take off 2 of those dates, one in the fall, one in the spring, that they no longer utilize. And so since we're bringing forward these considerations, we just clean that off the calendar as well for the 21-22 school year calendar. And the third of which is December 22nd was incorrectly marked as a school day, and that truly is a non-school day, and it's part of the holiday break. So it is a change in there that adds a day to the break, which I'm sure we would not have much argument from our community on. The proposed 21-22 calendar revisions are, again, the teacher professional development, August 17th and 18th, removing 2 dates, which is October 12th, an afternoon date, and February 17th, an evening date from the middle school parent-teacher conference options, and then changing that December 22nd to a non-school day. Again, as I said, the committee that we have for the calendar committee is made up of 29 individuals representing various district staffing groups from our recognized organizations, and then also there are 6 parents to serve on that committee as well, and 2 board members. Here is the calendar, and it just points out those dates on there. The 2 dates, first of all in August, the 17th and 18th, which will be right in between the new staff reporting and our veteran staff. The middle school down at the bottom, which are the 2 dates that we changed or removed from the calendar that are utilized at this time as options that they are not going to use. And then again, that December 22nd, that would be changed to a non-school day. So the administrative recommendation is to adopt the revisions that are recommended by the calendar committee for the 21-22 school year calendar. And again, those proposals are there for you to see. So I'll stand by for any questions.
So we didn't get the day after the Super Bowl passed on.
That's in 2 years, potentially. Remember, the calendar is always 2 years out, so we're looking at that as one of those things. Depends on who plays. If it's the Cowboys, maybe, but
Just kidding.
so highly unlikely.
Any questions for Dr. Nold on the revisions to the 21-22 calendar? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adopt these revisions?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adopting the revisions to the 21-22 calendar signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those are adopted. Thank you.
I know that we will have this in our board reports online, but can we just make sure that we also get that swapped out on that link? I know a lot of people go to that link on our
Oh, yes.
On the website.
Yes, absolutely.
and make sure we
Yep.
get that updated
We'll
right
go
away
through the
too.
staff one, and we'll switch that out, and then Becky Dormer goes through and does the same for our,
Family or parent
Yeah.
one. Okay, thank you.
Good call.
yeah, actually, she'll go through and revise the other ones. Megan Daly will change that out for the parent one.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. You're good. Just leave it up. Yeah, this is the last time we'll get new bills, theoretically, because the deadlines have passed. They can always suspend the rules. But so we'll go through again the red bills. Those are the new ones that you haven't seen, and then I'll touch on the key bills too, just where they're at as we get through these. The first one for us then is on page 1. It is about limits liabilities for certain exposures to COVID-19. We support that bill. On the next page is House Bill 1050. We already talked about it last time, but it was a key bill. It was the bill to modify certain publishing requirements in official newspapers. We opposed it, and it did not pass on the House floor. 29-41 is how it failed. On page 3 is House Bill 1082. It's an act to revise state aid to education definitions. It is attempting to assist districts that are not able to test their English language learners due to remote learning. We get funded based on the number of ELL students that are at or below a certain mark on the WIDA test. We support the bills. We support the bill. We hope to be able to test almost all of our EL students, even those in the virtual academy, but there are districts that have been remote all year and are concerned about not testing them. So I think it's kind of a fairness issue there. House Bill 1083 is attempting to grant authority to the South Dakota Secretary of Education to waive accountability requirements when you have a national declared emergency through December 31, 2024. We support the bill. House Bill 1097, it died in committee. It was a key bill for us. It was a bill to allow philosophical exemptions to school immunization requirements. We opposed that bill, similar to one from last year. House Bill 1108 is also a key bill. It would require schools to allow the playing of honor songs or Lakota flag songs at a graduation, and if requested by a graduating student. We oppose the bill. The decision for programming for ceremonies such as graduation should be determined locally by the school boards. That bill has been referred to House State Affairs. Does not have a hearing scheduled yet. House Bill 1117 clarifies that when all members of the school board or another public body are meeting by teleconference, you don't have to have a spot for people to go to listen to it. They can just phone in and listen to it as well as the board members. We support that bill, makes sense. House Bill 1118, though that's died and it wasn't key, so we won't go over that one. House Bill 1120 would establish a website for posting of notices for local governments such as us, like our minutes and our meeting times. We have it as a key bill and we like it. We just suggest an amendment to say items that are posted on that BOA website would not be, you wouldn't have to also post them in the newspaper. You could just post that they exist or there could be a link there. So that bill is scheduled for, well, it was scheduled for a February 4th hearing, but it hasn't been updated. So they didn't move on it. House Bill 1127 would say that when you're on a teleconference, or when you have one member or two members or however many members on a teleconference, you don't have to take a roll call vote unless somebody votes nay. Then we'll have to identify that person, but we support that bill. It's a good idea. House Bill 1128 would establish requirements for public meeting notices and materials. It would add to the required notice that in addition to the most recent version of the proposed agenda, the notice must also include all materials required by 127-116, basically any printed material that's gone out to the board members. We would suggest amending the bill. It should be made clear that those materials can be posted online. You don't have to have a 3-ring binder, out where you posted your agenda item. House Bill 1129 would add specific requirements for public body live streaming of meetings, including the use of products that do not require registration or creation of accounts, allow for archiving of meeting videos, provide ability to limit digital advertisements, and so on. We have this as a key bill and we recommend opposing it. It's unnecessary. It would add expenses for public bodies and would to do these and would actively discourage the live streaming of public meetings. I think it's kind of doing the opposite of what you want it to do. YouTube and Zoom are out there, everybody uses them, and you couldn't have those with this bill. So we're recommending opposition to that. House Bill 1137 is just a placeholder bill. Doesn't have, House Bills 1157, 1158 have already died. House Bill 1159, I'm on page 8 now, would prohibit interference with the right to bodily integrity in contagious disease controls. It essentially allows a person to decline medical interventions and be free from any consequences of that decision. It prevents schools, employers, and others from imposing any health restrictions or requirements. We oppose the bill. It would prevent us from applying health requirements for attendance at school. House Bill 1174 is another placeholder. House Bill 1187 would require the teaching of Uchedi Sakuin essential understandings and require school districts to modify curriculum and incorporate elements with a regionally specific focus. The school district must collaborate with federally recognized Indian tribes located within the district or within neighboring tribes to create classroom and community cultural exchanges. We opposed the bill. The South Dakota Department of Ed approved the essential understandings and standards in 2012 with development committees from across the state meeting through 2016 to review, revise, and create lessons for all levels K through 12. So we think that handles it, and this is not necessary. House Bill 1217 defines biological sex for the purposes of school athletics and prohibits non-female participants in a female sport. We oppose the bill. The bill sets up a conflict between state and federal law and places a school district in the crosshairs, permitting and encouraging lawsuits from either side. House Bill 1279 would appropriate $900,000 to the DOE to develop K through 12 civics and history curriculum. And provide training. We suggest no position on that bill. House Bill 1280 would appropriate $1.5 million to the Department of Ed for the purposes of redesigning the teacher certification system. We're actually suggesting supporting the bill. The system is in need of updating, and this would benefit all school districts across the state. House Bill 1283 would appropriate $200,000 in order to update the virtual school website, registration and reporting system. We suggest no position on the bill. That's the House bills. Any questions or comments on those?
I'd just like to maybe consider 1217 as a key bill, just because of the potential for lawsuits, and I would just
For the audience, that's the bill on the continued fairness in women's sports is what it's called. 1217, right? Yeah. Okay. Is that a motion?
Do you have a motion on that? Do you have a second?
I would move to make House Bill 1217 a key bill.
I'll second that.
Should we vote on that one first, and then we can put them all together unless there's any other amendments on that?
Okay.
Okay, before us right now is a vote on amending 1217, House Bill 1217 to a key bill, keeping the same position on that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It carries. Sounded like you didn't hear me say.
On to the Senate bills then? Okay, on the
I just had one, 1205 you went over, didn't that one die already in the committee? I think it did. That teaching standard.
Yes, it's died, yeah. So I didn't go over the bills that.
I wanted to verify, I just thought it did, but it won't.
Okay, yep. On to the Senate bills then. Just an update on Senate Bill 449. That's the bill to fund the school districts at 2.4%. That was moved then it was passed out or referred from Senate appropriations to joint appropriations. So it'll be considered in the overall budget. Senate Bill 120 is a placeholder bill. Senate Bill 128 would prohibit a high school activities association from granting or assigning exclusive broadcast rights for state level events to a media contractor. We oppose that bill. Not allowing them to do that will raise our membership fees. They get revenues off that, and so we oppose that bill for that reason. Senate Bill 170 is a key bill. It would prohibit the conduct of certain physical examinations or screenings on students in a school district without parental consent. Again, it's a key bill. We recommend opposing it. We see it as unnecessary and may have a significant impact on schools. The Federal Protection of Pupil Rights Amendment requires that local school districts create a policy on this and provide, the school may administer to a student, provide notice and offer an opportunity to opt the student out of participation. The bill will go beyond the requirements of the federal law and seems unnecessary for our school district anyway. The district has a process for parents or community members to address policy concerns if they feel changes are needed. So we are recommending opposing that bill. It was referred to Senate Ed. It hasn't been scheduled yet. And then last one, kind of a short list this year, Senate Bill 177 would remove the accountability for alternative instruction or homeschool and removes the local school board's authority to set eligibility standards for participation in school-sponsored activities and athletics. Right now it's permitted, but it is not required. It would be required that school boards allow homeschool students to participate in activities. It is in Senate Education tomorrow. We have it as a key bill and we oppose it. The pandemic has resulted in higher levels of students disengaging completely from their education. A public school exemption system lacking accountability would only exacerbate this problem. In addition to removing the last vestige of accountability for alternative instruction in the state, this bill removes local school boards from the process. In doing so, the bill would remove the safety net for kids who may be vulnerable to educational neglect. We believe that no child should be allowed to fall through the cracks due to an adult's bad choices, and it is our moral obligation to ensure there is a safety net in place to support students when they are left helpless and without a connection to a caring adult. They are entitled to all the pursuits afforded as an American citizen who is literate, knowledgeable, and able to function in the modern world. Again, we oppose the bill. And that is all of the Senate bills that we've analyzed.
Any questions for Todd? I just would really like to reiterate what Todd has said on Senate Bill 177. That's a very, very important bill for us to focus on with the loss of learning and the loss of students that we've seen statewide as well as our community. And I would encourage anyone who thinks that all parents are good and altruistic to spend a week on a grand jury in Minnehaha County, and they will see that that is not true. Many homeschool parents and families do a great job of educating their children. I'm not worried about them, I'm worried about others. And so there needs to be some protections for those children. And this bill removes any of those protections for those children who need us and need their teachers looking out for them.
So we just ask that you approve the recommended positions as amended.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor on the positions for the 21 pending legislation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That carries. And also at 2 p.m., we're getting a speech, I believe, by the governor
Yeah, I heard that as
addressing
well.
the budget. Is that correct?
That's what I heard do, yeah. Thank you.
On to policy changes. Is Kate?
Got it up. You want me to go?
Go ahead.
Okay. We have 4 policies that are up for revision. I'll just go through them. EB, Safe and Secure Environment. We added language to explain visitor management system that will be used to screen visitors when entering a district facility. EBC, Emergencies. We added language to support relationship with first response agencies and community partners during emergencies. EBCB, Safety Drills. We updated language to match current practice. And LBC and its accompanying regulation, Relations with non-public schools, no changes. So because the changes were fairly minimal, I would move to approve the revision of those 4 policies.
Thank you, Kate. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor of the revision of the above policies and regulations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those are approved. Anything else for the good of the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we are adjourned. Thank you.